Transmitting TRACS data, class code SS 2.3, revised May 2019. Transmitting TRACS data. It is important to remember that any task that you are doing in OneSite regarding tenant data, your 5.9s, your certification activity, you do need to transmit this. Your HUD and CA do not see the work that you've done in OneSite. They do not have access to our system. You can transmit this information to your CA or to HUD in OneSite itself. There is a mailbox function to send these files to them. The mailbox system that is used by these agencies is called IMAX. The files that you transmit are sent through IMAX to your CA or to HUD, depending on your property, for review and acceptance. If the files are going to your CA will then forward those on to the TRACS system for HUD review as well. So to start, you will go to Administration and Affordable Processing, and under the Compliance section, you should see a blue underlined link that says TRACS. The TRACS processing window has 3 tabs: Draft, which are files that have been created and not yet sent; Sent, which is files that have been sent; and Inbox, the files coming to you either from TRACS or your CA. To create files to send to your CA, start by clicking New. In most cases, you will have one program contract on that left-hand side, and you'll see there. Here it says Section 8-IL 502-0062101. I don't have any other programs to select. In some cases, if you have multiple contracts at your property, you will need to do this for each contract. So please be careful with that. However, most of you only have one contract, so this is very simple, and you will only do these steps once. Under the type of data, you will see HAP, tenant, baseline, address load, and address read number. In most cases, your monthly TRACS processing will be the HAP and tenant data. So if you have 2 different contracts, you'll most likely be sending 2 HAP submissions and 2 different tenant submissions for each of the list of tenants under each program. So to transmit your HAP, which is done every month prior to the 10th of the month, simply select HAP in that drop-down box and click Get Unsent Items. Ensure that that month and year is correct, remembering that we are sending our HAP for Section 8 purposes 1 month in advance. So this July 2019 HAP was put together and is being transmitted the beginning of June 2019, so 1 year in advance. Double check that month and year, make sure that is correct, and select the file and then click the Create File button. Once you have done so, you'll then see that file sitting on the Draft tab. And you can see the file name, the type, where it's going. In this case, NHC is the name of the CA, the date and time the file was created. You can double check the file to see what is being transmitted by clicking More and then View Summary. And that bottom screenshot shows you the summary of this file. So it's telling me the TRACS file is a HAP file. It's unsent. It was created on 5/29/2019. I can see the program, the month and year of that HAP, the tenant assistance, the regular payments, the manual adjustments, and the total voucher. So those summary numbers are coming from page 1 of the HAP report and should match what you have saved to your month-end folder. To send that file, simply select the item and then click Send Selected. You will then see a pop-up asking for your Secure Systems WAS ID and password. So that is how you sign into Secure Systems to access EIB and TRACS. If you have any issues and the system is telling you that your TRACS access is locked out, or there are tasks that need to be done before you can process that file, in some cases it is the annual TRACS rules of behavior So you'll need to sign in to secure systems, click on TRACS or IMAX, and accept the rules of behavior electronically. In some cases, your TRACS access may have been locked due to a lack of use. You are required to sign in to TRACS every 90 days. So if you're having an issue sending a TRACS file, you can also contact Courtney in the main office for assistance. To transmit tenant data or certifications that have not yet been transmitted, select tenant from the type of data and click Get Unsent Items. This window is going to show you only items that have not yet been sent to your CA or to HUD. Anything that has already been sent can be retrieved in another way. So if you're not seeing the certification you need in this list, it may have already been transmitted. When reviewing this list, do make sure that you are only transmitting certifications that are being reported on the same HAP that you are sending. If you send certifications that are due to report on a future HAP, you may, and most likely will, create an error with the TRACS files from your CA. They're going to say, you sent me data that is not on your HAP. So be sure that you are looking at that reported on date and only selecting the certifications that are being reported on the corresponding HAP that you are sending. Select the certifications you need to send and click Create File. If you need to resend a file, you select the tenant as the type of data and click Find Resend Items. Now, how do you know if something needs to be resent? Sometimes your CA will tell you that something needs to be resent, or HUD will request that you resend something. And you can see on the Certification tab if a certification was already sent. So the second column from the right is reported on that Certification tab. And you'll see a HAP date as well as a TRACS date. So that TRACS date tells me that that certification was already sent through TRACS to the CA or HUD. Because it was already sent, I'll need to use the resend function. If there's no date next to TRACS, it means it has not yet been sent. As an aside, next to HAP, you should see the HAP report date. And in that screenshot, you see 2 green check marks. That means that each of those HAPs, with the green check marks, have been sent to the CA. In the case of the top item, you'll see that HAP date has a red X because that HAP has not yet been transmitted. That's what that red X means, is that it is still due to report. It's not yet reported on that HAP. So to retransmit tenant data, when you click Find Resend Items, you'll have this nice pop-up box. Using this advanced Find Resend, you can add as much information to the search fields at the top as you want. The more information that you enter, however, the fewer results you will get. So if you enter less information, it's going to give you more items that fall within what you have entered. So you can do the effective dates of the certifications, the transmitted date, so when was the certification originally sent. You can search by certification type, so all move-ins. You could search by last name of the head of household. You could also search by unit. What's great is that the last name function, it does allow you to enter a partial name. So if you're not sure of the spelling, it's really helpful to just enter in the first few letters and click Find. And in a lot of cases, that is all you need. Occasionally, that unit field is a little funny and doesn't like building numbers. So I typically use the name function or search by certification type. The columns down below in the blue, dark blue bar, unit, head of household, activity, correction, effective date, those are all sortable if you click on that heading. So if you wanted to reverse the effective date or bring all the most recent ones to the top, you would sort that column by clicking on that effective date column. Likewise, you can do the same by head of household and alphabetize that A to Z or Z to A, depending on how many times you click that column. So here's an example of searching by last name. I entered in that last name, click find, and here are the certifications for that head of household. So review the list of results, select the files that you need to resend, and click include in the bottom right hand corner. Once you have clicked include, it's going to refresh this search screen and allow you to do another search. So if you have multiple residents that you need to resend data for, you can do so now by searching for that data and clicking include. If you have no additional items to send, you can proceed right to review and create tab. On that review and create tab, it's going to list all the certifications that you opted to include. Be sure that the certifications listed are the certifications you want to send. And then in the bottom right hand corner, select create file. The file will then be listed on the draft tab for you to review. And again, you can click more, view summary to view the information and the certifications that are being transmitted. And here we have the 2 certifications that were being included for this household. When you're ready to transmit, select your file and click Send Selected, and you'll have that pop up to enter your WAS ID and password. That process is the same whether you are sending new tenant data or finding and resending tenant data. Once you create that file, you're going to select it, click Send Selected, and enter your Secure Systems ID and password. You can review what has been sent by going to that Sent tab. And from there, you can review the type of data that was sent. In most cases, you'll see HAP or Tenant. Where is it going? So in this case, to the CA, Contract Management Services, and the date created and the date transmitted. So in this case, you can see that in May of 2019, the HAP and Tenant files were created and transmitted on May 6th, and the HAP was again transmitted on May 9th. If you click View Summary, you can see the specific information that was sent to that CA. So perhaps there was a correction to that HAP that was required, and so the HAP itself had to be resent, and there was no additional tenant data to send.